There's nothing left to say now, so I'll be on my way now, and I'll be moving way out, way out, way out of your way.
That the one that you chose is actually not even the person that you chose, because you chose something that you thought was, you chose an expectation that you had,
right? Not
a reality that was there.
Yeah, that's
you understand?
Yeah, and often also you chose based on physical attributes, which happens many times.
Well, I mean, that was definitely a part of it. To be honest, in this particular situation, it wasn't even just physical. It was the first 6 months that we were together, I was pushing her away. Yeah. I was saying no, because I had a rule my entire life that I would not date a woman that had a kid from another man.
Right, right.
Not to discredit that. All the power, support, man, that's cool. My sisters are single parents raising kids, and my brothers are single parents raising kids. I'm fully supportive of that. But I just don't want to put myself in the middle of that triangle. You mean, that's just was the thing that I wanted to do. Yeah. So I pushed her away, push her away, push her away, push her away. And I literally told her, she was crying to her mom, and I feel bad about it, but I had to be straight up. You know, I didn't want to lead her on in any which way. For what? So I could get some good sex? Like really? No, I'd rather be straight up. So, you know, I tell her, like, listen, no, you have a kid. That's not my bag. I'm not trying to fly that way. After 6 months of doing that, bro, I didn't even know what happened. I woke up, I went to sleep one night thinking this way. I woke up the very next way. The very first thought in my head, as soon as my eyes opened up, was, I'm being a stupid idiot.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
That was the moment changed. I got on a plane because I was going to Mexico. She was in Argentina. I sent her a message video. I said, I'm on a plane right now going to Mexico. You're not going to believe anything that's coming out of my mouth, but we need to be together when we both come back, right? So it wasn't even physical at the beginning. Like, yeah, it was physical, but there was so much more to it. It was the connection. It was the connection. It was the energy that really, and I think that's, to be honest, what is so hard to disconnect from.
Right.
It's not the incredible sex. It's not the fun that we had. It's never the sex. It's the spiritual connection. Right. It's the energetic, the frequency that we both operated on at the exact same time, that we vibed together. And I've never in my life, ever in my life, felt that vibration with anybody else.
Right.
So it's when you feel a vibration like that. So I can say this. People, for example, I have her name tattooed right here. And people ask me all the time, they say, like, don't you regret that? Don't you want to cover it up or something? I said, no. Listen, many people live and die their entire lives and never experience a love so incredibly exotic.
Right.
And I did. So I can carry that for the rest of my life. Even if nothing ever happens ever again, I can say, wow, I had that. Yeah. And that's the memory that I have of that. But I have other things that this reminds me not to do, and to do things like also, that as well, right? Yeah.
So you're focusing on being grateful, like the gratitude.
Yeah, of course, you know, our life is only but a collection of moments.
Right.
That's all it is. No moment is guaranteed one to the next, and you can't plan or expect any moment, really. You know, things can change like this, as you know in your life. You know, like that, things can change.
Yeah.
So I think for me, understanding that our life is just a collection of moments. Moments are passing us by every single minute of every single day. Right. And we can't possibly touch or interact or connect or experience with every moment.
Right.
So we have to be specific with which moments that we choose. But we also have to be spontaneous, to go with the flow enough to experience certain moments as they come and embrace those moments for what they are.
Right.
Moments.
Right. Yeah.
I think that we have a tendency to overthink things. The fear of certain things. You know, we put so much of this into our daily activity in our brains, and so that when these moments come, we can't embrace them. we can't experience these moments. We can't enjoy the moments because we're thinking too much.
That's neat. That's like you just described me, and this is the most frustrating part for me that has been when I've been with other women, and it feels like that thought is like very far away. It's like someone yelling at you from miles away, but you kind of heard it, right?
Right.
And the second I hear that little voice, it's over, because I am doing the opposite of you. Instead of running towards it and embracing it, I'm like, nah, fuck that. Oh shit.
Yeah.
But then it just starts growing
it eats
and
you up
growing.
inside. I've been there so many times.
Yeah. And the harder that you try to play it off cool, the more you try to act like it's not there. Like you're done. You're already like, you know.
Here's the thing that I realized. So we're all energy, right?
Right.
So you acting like anything. Listen, why is it that when you have a girlfriend, and you go out, every woman wants to talk to you?
Yeah.
But when you're single, you've been to the gym, you're looking good, you're feeling good, all these things, you go out and no girl even wants to look at you. No. It's that energy that you're emanating, right?
That thirsty energy, that energy of you being on the prowl.
Listen, I have, as much as I try to play it cool, as much as I try to play it off, and I am super good in my space right now. Super, super, super good in my space. I have plans for my future for this year. I'm super excited about, you know, all those different types of things. But, you know, sorry, I'm just laughing at what I was just thinking about. So in my space right now, I'm good, but I know that I just need to move on.
Yeah.
I just need to live in the space. I just need to take advantage of the moments that are here. I just have to embrace spontaneity.
Yeah.
I have a plan. Yes, I have all that stuff for me, but I need to be able to be free to just experience life.
Right. To
make connections and not to think so much and put myself in a situation where now I'm dating and I have a girlfriend. And I'm like, whoa, how'd that happen?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why I do certain things in my life to protect myself from getting that far.
Like what? Like in a concrete manner?
So my mom raised me. I was raised by my mom, my two. I mean, I have a father and my mother, a big family like this. But I have 2 older sisters, 3 younger brothers. So I have a big family. My dad was always working. So basically, my mom, my 2 older sisters, my grandma took care of me my entire time. My mom and my sisters are professional models. You know, models around the house all the time. This is why I'm more comfortable with feminine energy. That's why my cat is a female. That's why my dog is a female. But they raised me to always be respectful, always to be upfront, to always, you know, to set boundaries so that people understood, as bad as this sounds, to understand your place, you know. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way at all. It's just, I don't like misunderstandings.
Right.
I don't like misconceptions. I like clarity.
Right.
Conversation is, to me, one of the most important things between anything, between my dog and I, between my cat and I, between you and I, between your audience and you. Communication is what's so important. And we have a tendency to do things that we don't want to do because we don't want to talk about them.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And so, for example, my bedroom, okay? It's like any bedroom. It's got a bed, my clothes, and things like that. When women come over, typically, most of the time, we do our activities in the bedroom, okay? But my bed, like the ritual of sleeping, of waking up in the morning, of laying in bed with the sun in my face, gathering my thoughts for the morning, getting a coffee, sitting on my terrace, being with my dog and my cat, you know, all this personal space, that's very intimate to me, okay? So I don't like to share that moment with just anybody.
So you don't allow
no
people
no
after after you've done having sex, to put it in a very
Yeah, so now I'm not going to say never, never, never. Okay, I'm a human.
Yeah.
So I will say 9 times out of 10 times,
right.
the woman that I'm with, for, they go home at the end of the night. If I'm at their house, I go home at the end of the night, regardless of the time it is.
And I can imagine that many times you actually have to very clearly and thoroughly tell them, like, look, I'm gonna need you to leave.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that comes with the communication. That comes with being open. That comes with being upfront.
But do you tell them beforehand?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna be at 5 o'clock in the morning and be, hey, babe, that was fun, but
you gotta get it.
You gotta go. You don't gotta go home, but you have to get out of here. That's just rude. That doesn't go with what my parents taught me. But what I will do is I will make sure that comes up in conversation ahead of time. Now, I try to live my entire life without expectation.
But hold on, let me just I want to focus on that a little bit.
Yeah.
So how do you, when you are having a conversation with a woman that you haven't had sex with yet, so she's not aware of your ritual, right? How do you bring up the fact that if you were to potentially sleep with each other, that she would have to leave? That's already you would have to be, to a certain extent, pragmatically driving the topic of conversation into that direction, so you know it's going to come up, right? So where do you draw the line between having your own ritual and being true to yourself and not being too pragmatic in the sense that you're already manipulating the situation a little bit? Also, adding to the fact that we both know most women will somehow find that enticing and find that attractive, the fact that you are actually already sort of rejecting them out of your own personal space before it's even there, which makes them...
See, here is, I think, for me, where it comes in, okay? I don't ever want you to feel rejected.
Right.
In any way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I will go out of my way to make sure you do not feel rejected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So then it comes, again, back to communication.
Right.
Okay? How do you communicate clearly
but still,
and respectfully?
How do you get to that point?
Point. Yeah. So for me, I found it just comes with conversation, and it's all tied together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So most people, I believe, would not understand or appreciate that foreplay starts far before you get to the bedroom, let alone face to face.
Yeah.
Okay? When you're having a conversation with a woman through message, that's a form of foreplay.
Yes.
It's an elongated form of foreplay.
You're already fucking the mind.
Okay? You are setting yourself up.
Right.
And setting the situation up. Mm-hmm. That's why I like to. I'm an artist at heart. I like to creatively speak. I like to express myself creatively. So I don't just use words. Sometimes I use songs. Sometimes I use photos. Sometimes I use poems. So there's certain things that I'll pick. There's certain things that I want to say that this can say so much more powerfully than just some message that I send you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So with that comes finding a way to let that person know that if we find ourselves back at my house, at the end of the night, she's going to go home and I'm going to stay here. Or if we find myself back at her house and I'm going to go home at the end of the night. How do we express that? Okay. And how do we express it in a way that doesn't make her feel rejected?
Right.
So I found, at least in my experience, and I can't speak for everybody at all, but in my experience, I can say that I venture into, well, what does it mean? What are we doing this for?
Right. So, to be clear, at what point you're basically bringing up the point of what are we doing? What's happening right now?
Yeah, but it's not even so blunt in your face. What are we doing? Are we having sex? No, it's not like that. No, but what are we doing? What are we doing this for? Are we just to bodies with skin and one penis and one vagina, and we're just gonna have to do this. Is that all this is, or is there a deeper purpose here? Is there a deeper connection? Is there, I'm not ruling out something potential in the future. I'm not ruling that at all.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is that I don't want to rush the process, and the process can get rushed because the lines can get blurry.
Right.
Just from having somebody stay over at your house.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Yeah.
Because it starts getting more comfortable, and it's like, okay, I'm staying at his house. Surely no one else is staying at his house. Then you start building this thing. Okay. So
it already comes with expectations.
Right. So now let me ask you this: if I share my bed, if I share my morning ritual, if I go to sleep arm in arm, cuddled up, snuggled up ear to ear, legs intertwined, fall asleep together, my cat and my dog on the other side, everyone's happy, okay? Moon's coming through the window. We wake up the next morning, we're all cuddled together, everything's super cool. It's like, oh man, you're so beautiful. Now I gotta share my morning with you, my morning ritual, my morning thoughts with you, my morning coffee with you. Okay, cool, it's beautiful, let's do it, okay? Let's have some peanut butter on toast and the whole deal. I got it. But if I do that with everybody, why is it special for you? What do I have to do now to make our relationship and our connection and our situation together special? What do I have to do?